Garum. Garum was the signature sauce of the Roman world, made by fermenting small fish with large amounts of salt under the Mediterranean sun. The mixture was left in clay vats for weeks or even months, slowly breaking down into a rich liquid filled with deep, savory flavor. Once strained, the resulting sauce was poured over vegetables, meats, grains, and almost any prepared food. Romans valued it not only for its taste, but also for its ability to add intensity to simple ingredients. Large factories along the coasts of Spain and North Africa produced garum in enormous quantities, and amphorae filled with the sauce were shipped throughout the empire. Liquamen. Liquamen was closely related to garum, though the two terms were sometimes used interchangeably in Roman texts. While garum originally referred to the finest liquid drawn from the fermentation vats, liquamen often described the more common sauce used in everyday cooking. It had the same salty and deeply savory character, but it was usually less refined. Roman recipes frequently mention liquamen as a standard seasoning, much like modern cooks rely on soy sauce or fish sauce today. Over time, liquamen became the dominant name for the condiment in later Roman cuisine. Colatura di Alici. Colatura di Alici is a traditional Italian fish sauce that survives today as one of the closest descendants of garum. It comes from the small coastal town of Cetara in southern Italy, where anchovies are layered with salt inside wooden barrels. As the fish slowly ferment, a clear amber liquid forms and is carefully filtered through cloth. The result is intensely salty but also complex and aromatic. A few drops are enough to transform pasta, vegetables or seafood. Although it is made in much smaller quantities than ancient garum, the method preserves a culinary tradition that stretches back nearly 2,000 years. Soy sauce. Soy sauce began in ancient China as part of a family of fermented soybean pastes known as jiang. Early cooks discovered that mixing soybeans with roasted grains, salt, and natural molds created a dark liquid full of umami flavor. Over centuries, the process became more refined, producing the familiar sauce now used across East Asia. Soy sauce balances saltiness with a subtle sweetness and a deep fermented aroma. It became essential in Chinese cooking and later spread to Japan, Korea, and beyond, shaping entire culinary traditions. Fish sauce. Fish sauce developed independently in several parts of Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia. Like garum, it relies on the fermentation of small fish and salt, often in large wooden barrels exposed to tropical heat. As the fish break down, they release a clear amber liquid with a powerful savory taste. Known as nuoc mam in Vietnam and nam pla in Thailand, the sauce acts as a fundamental seasoning in many regional dishes. Its strong aroma softens when mixed into soups, marinades, and dipping sauces, where it adds depth rather than overwhelming the dish. Miso. Miso is a thick, fermented paste made from soybeans, salt, and a cultured mold called koji. Although it is technically a paste rather than a liquid sauce, it functions in much the same way by providing concentrated flavor to soups, broths, and marinades. Miso originated in China but became especially important in Japanese cuisine, where it developed into many regional styles. Some miso varieties ferment for only a few months, while others age for years. The result is a wide range of colors and flavors, from mild and slightly sweet to dark and intensely savory. Gochujang? Gochujang is a Korean fermented chili paste that blends heat, sweetness, and deep savory notes. It is made from red chili powder, fermented soybeans, sticky rice, and salt, all aged together in earthenware jars. The fermentation process softens the sharpness of the chili and creates a thick, complex paste that becomes richer over time. Gochujang plays a central role in Korean cooking, giving dishes like bibimbap and tteokbokki their distinctive flavor. Its balance of spice and sweetness makes it both a seasoning and a sauce base. Doubanjiang. Doubanjiang is a fermented bean and chili paste that comes from the Sichuan region of China. Traditionally, it is made from broad beans, chili peppers, salt, and wheat flour, all fermented slowly in clay jars. The aging process can last months or even years, producing a paste with a deep reddish color and a powerful savory taste. Doubanjiang forms the backbone of many Sichuan dishes, including mapo tofu and various stir-fries. Its flavor is both salty and spicy, but also rich with the fermented depth that defines many ancient sauces. Verjuice. Verjuice was a widely used sauce base in medieval European cooking. It was made by pressing unripe grapes to produce a sharp, sour liquid that resembled vinegar but had a gentler acidity. Medieval cooks used verjuice to balance heavy meats, stews and sauces, especially before lemons became common in northern Europe. The flavor added brightness to dishes that might otherwise taste rich or overly fatty. Although it faded from everyday use over time, verjuice remains an important reminder of how medieval kitchens managed acidity without modern citrus. Moretum. Moretum was a Roman herb and cheese sauce described in several ancient texts, including a famous poem traditionally attributed to Virgil. It was made by crushing garlic, herbs, olive oil, cheese, and vinegar together in a mortar until the ingredients formed a thick paste. Spread on bread, Moretum created a strongly flavored accompaniment that combined freshness with sharpness. The mixture is often considered an ancestor of later Mediterranean herb sauces such as pesto. It shows how ancient cooks relied on simple ingredients and careful preparation to create bold flavors.